Welcome back to our online class. Today we are on day 7 of Islamic Studies. Moving on to our next part of the lesson, which is the Holy Qur'an, also spelled as K-O-R-A-N. Please take note of that. So I want you to go ahead and read those few paragraphs that I have, and please read carefully so that you can understand the Quran and how it is respected in the Muslim community, how it was revealed to the Prophet, and the form that we have today. Please take a look at the 2 attachments that I have given to you with this assignment. They are taken from the DK, the Islam book. There is attachment 7-1 and attachment 7-2. So please take a look at the question. Let's look at our first question. How does the word Qur'an raise questions about the reliability of the Qur'an itself? Now, to find the answer, please open your attachment 7-1 and go to page 67 of that attachment, and you will see at the bottom there is a green text box. It's a box containing a lot of text, not a quotation, a green color text box. Read that text box and now answer the question how the definition of the word Qur'an itself can raise some eyebrows. Moving on to second question. How are the chapters and verses arranged in the Qur'an? Now again, this time, go back to your attachment 7-2 of the DK Islam book that I have attached in this assignment, and look at page 72. On the center column, you will see there is a section called Chapters and Verses. Look through that segment of the text, read through it, and tell me how are the chapters and the verses arranged in the Quran. Do the Quran have a book like how Bible has Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus? Or do Quran only have chapters? Do the chapters have a name? Please write about that after reading that section in the attachment. Now you'll notice that I gave you around 26 facts on Quran, 26 of them, and I have labeled the numbers. What I want you to do is look down at the question, and I have asked a question, and you have to find the information from the bulleted number. And whichever number carries that answer, you just write down the number. You do not have to write down the statement, the sentence, no. Just write down the numbers that corresponds to the question. Now, I would like to also warn you at this time that these bullet numbers are rearranged for every class. So please try not to copy from the other class because the numbers are not the same as your class. All right, so go ahead and read each of those questions and then go back to the bulleted number and see which numbers carries the answer for those selected questions. After you're done with the questions on the Quran, please go ahead and look at the Hadith. What is the Hadith? Well, in short, just to let you know, Hadith is the sayings of the Prophet. The instructions, the advice that the Prophet gave are written in the Hadith. These are the words of the Prophet. Quran, on the other hand, is the word of Allah, is the word that came from God through Jibril or Gabriel. But Hadith is the wise sayings of the Prophet. And so this Hadith is also very, very well respected among the Muslim community. Of course, it is not equal to the Quran because Quran is the word of God, but Hadith is the wise sayings, advices, instructions from the Prophet. So my question on the Hadith would be, what is the difference between Quran and the Hadith? Make a comparison. Difference between the Quran and the Hadith. Alright, for our last part of our activity for today, I have a question, and that is, what is the main difference between a Muslim and a Jewish dietary law? What can a Muslim eat? What can a Jew eat? What can a Christian eat? What can an SDA eat? Alright, so I gave you a chart, a table all you have to write is yes or no. For example, can a Jew eat pork? If no, write no in the box. If the Muslims can or cannot eat the pork, then write yes or no. A Christian can eat the pork? Yes. SDA? No. Write no. So I give you this table. Simply write the word yes or no if they can consume these types of food. To help you fill the answer to the table, let's take a look at a few of the food items that is listed there and see how they correspond to the different groups, beginning with pork or bacon. Obviously, Jews will not eat it because the Bible clearly says in Leviticus chapter 11 that do not eat pork. Muslims also are told not to eat, but you'll notice, as we learned, that in certain circumstances, they can eat pork if there is no food at all. Christians, when I mean Christians, it's all the Christian world. Yes, they do eat pork, but the Seventh-day Adventist, like us in EIS, we don't. So we are similar to the Muslims and the Jews. Next, catfish, eel, or even camel. Jews will not touch them. Jews will stay away from them. Muslims, however, will eat camel, even the catfish. Bible gave special criteria. We are to observe the animal and see if they fall into that category, and then we decide whether they're clean or unclean. God has given us the criteria. Bible does not, however, give us the reason why, but it gives us a criteria by which we can decide whether they are clean or unclean. For the Muslims, however, there is no criteria. They simply pick and choose. They have a list of things that are halal and a list of things that are haram. Camel is halal for them because that's the only animal you find in the desert, and so they would eat the meat, they would even drink the milk. Christians, however, probably are not used to camel. They will not eat camel meat. But eel, catfish, yes. Seventh-day Adventists, on the other hand, will not eat that. So here, the Seventh-day Adventists are very similar to the Jews. We will not eat what the Jews don't eat. Next, crab, squid, and shrimp. Jews will not eat them because they are called in the Bible as scavengers in the sea. So they will not eat those. Muslims will eat it. Christians will eat it. But again, the Seventh-day Adventists won't eat crab, squid, or shrimp. And that's why you don't see those in our cafeteria. Then we have beer, alcohol, and wine. A Jew will drink alcohol or wine or beer. Again, in the Quran, it does say that as long you do not get drunk, you can drink. That's why you will see alcohol is being served in planes like Emirates Airlines or even Dubai. Duty-free shops, they will sell alcohol and wine. Because a Muslim could drink as long they don't get drunk. Christians will drink beer, alcohol, or wine. Seventh-day Adventists, on the other hand, will not drink beer, alcohol, or wine. For us, it is a totally no-no. For the Jews, it's okay. Muslims, as long as you don't get drunk. Christians, okay. Seventh-day Adventists, no. And finally, smoking. Now, this smoking, we're just simply talking about nicotine. We're not talking about weed or ganja, marijuana. No, we're just simply talking about the plain cigarettes that you find. Yes, a Jew will smoke. A Muslim would smoke. A Christian would smoke. But again, a Seventh-day Adventist will not smoke. So, if you look at the table, all items for Seventh-day Adventist is a no. Christian, all item is yes. For the Muslims, that's where you have slight difference. Some similar to the Jews, some opposite of the Jews. For the last part of our assignment today, we have two questions. They are based on the diet. Now you have already filled up the table indicating which type of food, which group of people can eat or cannot eat. Now I have two questions, again based on the DK Islam book, coming from the attachment 7-3. The question says, what is the difference between halal, haram, and makruh? What is the difference between halal, haram, and makruh. So these are the three words that I want you to, in a sentence, define and differentiate. And the final question, how is edible meat that can be consumed by the Muslims, like chicken, goat, cow, or even camel, how is that meat made halal according to the Islamic law? In other words, tell me, how should the animal be slaughtered or killed in order for it to be halal, that it can be safe for Muslims to eat? All right, that's it for today. Once you're done, please turn in your work. Make sure to highlight all your answers in red color font, and I'll see you on our next video.